Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to All About Healing, and thank you for taking the time out to listen to All About Healing. I hope that you enjoy the weekly show and that you tune in again next week. I'm your host, Emily Francis, and it's time for Emily's Energy Corner. You know, every day I don't do a lot of planning for the Energy Corner because the energy shifts, and then I sort of try to tune into what somebody needs to hear today. And today's message comes from a friend of mine who's been working on her writing, and she hasn't released anything yet, but she's worked on it, and it is brilliant, so brilliant. And I think she called today just to be reminded that what she has to say is important and of value and is special and it's hers, and that it's time to put it out. And she made a comment that was so powerful that I'm bringing it into the Energy Corner because it means so much, and it was such a poignant thought that I miss sometimes. And that is, she said, you know, it's not that I've been writing and it's not that I doubt what I've written. It's not those things. It's that last hurdle of actually saying, here, and putting it out there. Here's me. And her writing is very short and sweet. It's not books. It's not lengthy. It's just very inspirational and insightful, and it just gives you that little push that, hey, you're not alone, and I believe in you. But for her, the big thing is to simply say, here. And it brings to mind so many thoughts when you hear the word here. Here you go. Here it is. It does require a level of vulnerability, and it requires a level of you're offering a piece of who you are, a very, very private piece of who you are when you do something that you put out for other people to see. And I miss that sometimes because I did that so long ago that I'm so much more open in my writing. And now with my talk, I do it too because I'm so used to telling my story. And I don't have any skeletons left in my closet. I kick them all out and they're out dancing. And so I've gotten a little bit removed from that beginning feeling of, oh my gosh, what are they going to think of me? I already did that. But when you do it, you know, you have two different lines of thought. One is that I'm going to put this out there and everybody's going to see it. And the other line of thought is I'm going to put this out there and nobody's going to care. It's sort of it's a tug of war, to be honest, because some people put their first things out there and they hit mega, but those are so rare. And then there's other people that spend a life putting themselves out there and very few people ever see it. It's hard because when you put yourself out there, it is vulnerable, but then when nobody sees it, you're even more upset because you finally jumped the hurdle and you're willing to put yourself out there. So my Energy Corner today is your message to you that what you have to say, and you don't always have to be a writer, it's just that that's my point of reference, but what you have to say, your life experience, who you are and where you're at is of value. And you could be of value to someone and you don't know who it is. You know, I learned that lesson a long time ago, that it's not really my friends that buy my books. Some of my friends do, but certainly, by all means, not all of my friends buy my books. I wish that they did, but they don't, and that's okay, because a lot of them don't understand what I write about anyway. A lot of them are not interested, or they just don't even think about it because I'm their friend. You know, when you know somebody personally, either you're really impressed or you're totally unimpressed, and so there's no attachment to it. But you know, I had to realize that a lot of people that are reading my work are people I've never met. There are people from around the world. I get letters from people from around the world. I got a letter from a woman in Denmark who said, your book was our book club book of the month, and I had to find you, and I just knew you'd have a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is Emily A. Francis Books, by the way. But it was just, you know, I've realized that the people that value my work aren't in the neighborhood. They might be around the world. So if you have a message, whether you're putting it out on social media, whether you're putting it out in print, whether you're putting it through photos, whether you're drawing, whether you're dancing, whether you're playing music, it doesn't matter. Just have that creative flow if you feel called to do so. And understand and please know that the message that you have to bring forward into the world is of great value to someone and something that you cannot yet see. But you have to trust the process because it's your process, but it's also, once it is released, it could be helpful to someone else. And don't deprive other people of your magic. And, you know, I find myself using the word magic a lot lately because I think you are magic. I think your body is full of magic and wisdom. I think it's full of magic and wisdom to the level that we have missed as a society for so long. And I loved having Tom Shanahan on today, by the way. I meant to start with that. The author of Spiritual Adrenaline is who is on the show today. His name is Tom Shanahan, and it's a lifestyle plan to nourish and strengthen your recovery. So, you know, his point of reference is from addiction standpoint into recovery, and he's become quite the athlete and changed his whole life, changed his diet, changed his life, changed everything about himself, and I applaud him. And there are so many people out there that are struggling and that are living in secret right now and fearful of the judgment and fearful of coming out of hiding of who you really are, or what you're hiding, or what you're putting around yourself. And he had that same message, that you're not alone and that it's not too late and that you can change your life. My message for the Energy Corner is similar, but it is in that my message is your message to the world needs to be heard, because what you have to say is valuable and you matter. So it's not just like you're important and I want you to be healthy and all those things. It's also that you have something really sacred inside you, and don't be afraid to let it out. And you know what? Once you let it out, release yourself from the fear of judgment, because once you put it out there, it's out there. You can't go back, but you can have a detached presence to what it is. You've done your work. You've gotten it through your body. That's very cathartic. And then once you do put it out, though, you're going to find trolls and you're going to find kindness, and you just can't really have an attachment to either one, because that's the part that isn't yours. It's an interesting whole dynamic of energy, but once you put it out there, you're attached to it. It's your work. It's everything you did, but you can't be attached to what the response is. Otherwise, it's going to eat you up for dinner. It can. So you have to know that once you do it, you have to trust in the process. And I think there's a lot of that going on too right now, is the trust in the process is missing in a lot of people's lives as a whole. Now, right now, I have to tell you that planetarily and etherically, so many things are shifting right now, and everybody's feeling it. Everybody that I talk to is very sensitive right now. Things are really rough right now in a lot of places. A lot of truths are coming out. You're coming to some hard places. You just got to keep pushing ahead. Keep your eye on the prize and kind of duck down, in the universe right now, and try to just make your way through, because really so many things are shifting, and the effects are strong. So if you are planning on putting yourself out there, do it, and just know, yes, we're in Mercury retrograde right now, but I'm not even just talking about that. That's like computer glitches and things. I've actually had wonderful things happen to me under Mercury retrograde. So I don't want people to always hide under rocks because something planetarily is happening, because always something is happening. But I do know that there is big shifts out there right now, and a lot of people are feeling it. You are not alone. You're not alone in that either. But today, the message is, please, whatever message it is down in your soul, go ahead and let it out and say, here. All right, you guys, have a great week. Visit me, shoot me an email, emilyafrancis@gmail.com. I look forward to being back here next Wednesday. Have a great week, everybody.